Hey, I want to talk to you about the number one risk that I think you're going to run into if you start a sacred account or if you apply the infinite banking concept that you should really know about before you get started. Hey, good to see you today. This is Jerry Fetta, CEO and founder of Wealth Dynamics, giving you another Fetta Facts. This is all facts, no opinions from me, Jerry Fetta. Right now, I've been using the sacred account and the infinite banking concept for a number of years. I've got 6 of these so far, right? I started my first one, I think in 2017 or 2018, and I've been using these to become my own banker. I've done things like growing my business. I've done things like investing in real estate, marketing, personal development, buying precious metals, purchasing vehicles, all sorts of things with my banking systems, right? So I'm a huge fan of this concept, using life insurance to apply what I call the banking quadrant. The banking quadrant is what banks do already with your money, right? You deposit money in, they borrow against it, they loan it out, they invest it, they make money back on your deposits, the shareholders get wealthy and earn profits and dividends. Meanwhile, you make little to nothing. So the sacred account is the concept of using the banking quadrant in your favor, literally taking the same thing the banks are doing with the same product that they're doing it with. Banks are the number one owner and purchaser of whole life insurance on the planet. So the sacred account, we're using whole life insurance, specially designed, specially structured to become your own banker, okay? Now check this out. There are some things you should know before you get involved, right? There's some things that I didn't know. I was my own agent, so I didn't have somebody educating me, guiding me. This was not a popular concept online. It was a little bit hard to understand and even find information on, okay? So here's what I ran into, and this is a stable piece of information, right? You are going to need to keep up with your contributions, right? Now, what do I mean by that? This is different than your ordinary savings account, right? Your ordinary savings account, you can just deposit money in, and if you don't have any this month, that's fine. You don't need to put any in. If you have less than the current month and than the previous month, you can put in less. If you have more, you can put in more. The sacred account is not that way. You are doing a life insurance policy. So there is a contribution. It's a premium, right? A premium deposit. And that's an agreed upon monthly amount that you do need to be able to commit to, right? And I didn't really understand that at first. I thought I could put in more money. I was like, well, maybe I can lower it. And I didn't start with a ton. My first policy was maybe $500 per month, right? But when I started doing this, I started to realize, man, you know, as I talk with more clients that were doing this too, people aren't really understanding going into this that they have to stick with the monthly amount or the annual amount that they started. Right? So if they said, hey, I'm going to do $2,000 a month, you need to be able to actually continue to do $2,000 a month, right? Now, the reason why is this is not a savings account. It is a life insurance policy. Just like with a mortgage, you can't say, okay, I want to do a $2,000 a month mortgage and then be like, well, next month I don't want to. Or when can I stop, right? Like these are not things you'd have with a mortgage. But I'll hear sometimes people who are interested in setting up a sacred account and applying the banking quadrant and using this infinite banking concept to become their own banker. And they'll ask me things like, well, what happens if I can't contribute? Or when can I stop putting money into my policy, right? And so what I want to do is I want to actually share with you one of my illustrations so we can go over this, because I think it's really important to understand what does this actually look like. So let me just pull up an illustration here that I want to show you guys today. And this is going to really give you an idea of what the contributions can look like, how you can lower them, right? And how everything is going to work as far as needing to put in more money, the commitment, if you can stop, when you can stop. We're about to look at all that right now. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to whiteboard this thing out, okay? So this is, again, one of my policies. This is with One America, right? And this is one of my 6. And I want to show you what I'm looking at as far as the contributions are concerned. So I have my total annual outlay, right? Total annual outlay. This is the column that's telling me, hey, Jerry, here's how much money you need to be putting into this every month, right? So I'm putting in about $1,000 a month. That's almost $12,000 for the year, right? And I am committed to putting that money in. So it's $11,869.61 for the next 10 years, right? Now, this policy is designed on basically $1,000 a month contribution. What does that mean? I need to do that contribution, or the numbers that I'm seeing aren't going to work, right? So when I say this is specially designed as a whole life insurance policy, this is not your normal life insurance where you're like, let's lower it, right? Or let's change this about it. No. The way it's set up at the very beginning is so important that after you've done that, you do not want to change anything, right? It's literally like the example that I would use is it's like building a rocket. Like you build the whole thing and you're like, this thing will make it into space, right? And right before the launch, you're like, I don't like the color of the outside. Let's change that really quick as you're about to launch, or maybe even after you've launched. But the thing is that change wasn't tested for space. Next, I don't want to interrupt you too long. I just want to give you a free offer for my book, The Blueprint to Financial Freedom. If you go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, you can get the book now. I'm going to let you get back to the video. When you build a policy, you do what's called a Mech Test, right? You'll see here, it says Mech, no, right? What does no mean? Not. Mech, what is a Mech? Mech means the policy became taxable. You lose your benefit to borrow against it and take loans tax-free. So if it becomes a Mech, it's no longer going to be a sacred account. If I change something after the fact, on the high side, I could Mech the policy. I put in too much or I change things around that end. On the downside, the low side, it may not Mech, but it also may not grow, because if I change something, I'm reducing the amount of cash value. I'm reducing the amount of growth. I'm reducing the amount of dividends. I'm reducing the amount of those base whole life insurance death benefit shares that produce the income in the policy, right? So I need to really understand going into this that I am committed. Now, here's the deal on this. We front-end load these. So for about 10 years, you're going to see that I have more money going in every year. After that 10th year, that reduces. It goes down to about $3,000 a year. So I don't need necessarily to be thinking with, well, this is $1,000 a month forever, because it's really not, right? At some point, this is dropping down to like $250 a month, right? What am I going to do then? I'm going to open up another policy. I'm going to start another location, right? Because this one's working, it's doing its thing, right? So that's really what I want to get across to you in this training video. And you can see that this continues at $29.67 for a pretty long period of time. Now, here's the other thing. You can always, after the policy is broken even, usually that's years 5 to 10, somewhere in that range, where your cash value is higher than your overall contributions, you can usually do what's called reduced paid up, which I don't recommend, but if you're in a tight spot, it does mean you can stop your deposits early, your premium deposits early, halt your contributions, and what happens is you're dropping the cost down as low as you possibly can and having the internal growth and dividend of the policy cover the insurance costs, right? This does mean it will grow whether you put money into it, but the growth will be smaller compared to someone who's still putting money in and still putting in contributions. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you're starting a sacred account, if you've started a sacred account, stick with your contributions. And I don't want to end this video on this note. I want to say one more thing. I want you to have the mindset that this is not an expense, right? This is not insurance. This is not health insurance. This is not life insurance. This is not your ordinary life insurance. This is not car insurance. This is something that pays you, and you're going to make more than you've ever put into it, and by a long shot. That is not a cost. That's an investment. So it's kind of like asking the question, when can I stop investing? Now, it's not literally an investment because life insurance is not an investment, but I want you to think about it. It's like your banking business. When can I stop growing my business? When can I stop raising my net worth? When can I stop building? When can I stop? Apply this concept anywhere else. When can I stop spending time with my kids? When do I get to stop going to the gym? Right? When can I stop working and earning money to take care of myself and my family? You would never do those things. Why? Because they're good. They're good and you know you should do them and you like doing them, honestly, right? So same thing here. I like building my net worth. I like putting money into my banking system. There's no reason why I would stop. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching the video. Like this, comment below if this answered a question for you. I'll see you next time. Hey, this is Jerry Fetta here. I want to thank you for watching my video, watching my content. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to learn more about the Blueprint to Financial Freedom and how you can achieve passive income that exceeds your savings, your expenses, your taxes, your generosity, and build wealth like the top 1%, I want to encourage you, grab a copy of my book, The Blueprint to Financial Freedom. You can go to jerryfetta.com/B2F promo, or you can click the link in the description of the video here. The copy is free. You cover your shipping. We'll send the book out to you And we'll send you an email with a bunch of great bonus material also for free. Get the book, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on my next content.